Hey everybody, welcome back. This is going to be game number 4 between Loner and MoonGlade, and it is going to be, once again, I am national game, and it is going to be a Zerg versus Terran. It looks like the Terran player, Loner, decided to play on Delta Quadrant, which is a pretty interesting map choice. I guess this is kind of a fair map, I think, for Zerg versus Terran. Not a good map for Zerg versus Protoss, definitely, but I think it's a pretty balanced map for Zerg versus Terran. Terran might have a slight edge on this map, if anything. I'm surprised that Loner decided to not. I'm surprised that Loner didn't decide to play on Jungle Basin. I thought for sure that would be the map of choice. But MoonGlade taking game number 3. We are going to be going on here. This is game number 4. And if Loner loses this game, then MoonGlade will win. And if MoonGlade loses this game, then it's going to go on to a game number 5. So here we go. It looks like we have a Scouting Overlord already moving in, correct position, gonna spot Loner right away. And once again, just like last game, just like how they spawned close together, this is not good for MoonGlade, that the Terran player has spawned so close to the Zerg. Now, last game, MoonGlade used the Baneling bust very, very wisely, very effectively. I like that play. For a second there, I was like, why is he producing so many Zerglings? I thought he was just out of his mind. He was like, why are you producing so many? Even if your opponent was going for 2 barracks, you don't need that many. But then he went for the Baneling bust, and he couldn't have wished for a better move from Loner. Loner deciding to go for a very strange timing window attack, once again, pushing out with his Marines at, you know, it's a very weird time. I guess it can work if the Zerg is going mass eco, but MoonGlade was going for a Baneling bust, and so that didn't work out too well. Now it looks like MoonGlade is going to have to once again deal with the 2 barracks aggression. He does spot this with both the Overlord and the drone, so he should be well prepared for this. He did go for 14 hatch once again, and he does have a spawning pool down. I would like to see the gas going down very soon. Once again, I like early gas to deal with the 2 barracks aggression. You need, in my opinion, I think you need Banelings right away, especially if the Terran decides to add on a 3rd barracks and transition into just all-in 3 barracks rush. But it looks like, you know, Loner usually goes for 2 barracks and then he transitions into a command center. So we'll see how that works out. Right now, Loner is starting to pump out those Marines. He doesn't need the gas, obviously, anytime soon. And it looks like his supply depot going to come down just in time as well. Everything looking good. And MoonGlade here not going to get the gas. So I guess MoonGlade, same strategy as game number 1. He thinks he doesn't need the gas to deal with the 2 barracks aggression. Oh my goodness, but this time Loner gonna pull SCVs off the line. This is what I'm talking about. Do the Foxer. In fact, screw it, just get Foxer to sit down in your chair and play for you. It's gonna be all in SCVs plus Marines, and this is why, in my opinion, you need gas. Because if you don't have gas and you don't have Banelings, you are screwed. The Spine Crawler is starting to get worked first. It looks like these Zerglings trying to get in range of the Marines. The Marines here doing a good job of microing away from the Zerglings. SCV's now in the mix. The Spine Crawler just got time to go up. And really, that entire play was for MoonGlade to buy time for the Spine Crawler to pop up. Very, very nice play. And I think just like that, the attack was deflected by MoonGlade. Oh my god, that was so close. And I guess, hey, MoonGlade says, you know, I don't need early gas because I always go for an early Spine Crawler instead. So I guess that works as well. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more. I like that play by MoonGlade. He just barely survived. He had to pull his drone so he could get time for his Spine Crawler to grow up. And now all the SCVs have returned to duty. Scars, scabs, damage and all, doesn't really matter. SCVs are cool like that. They're going to go back to mining. MoonGlade is, I think, a little bit ahead right now, if anything. No, he's actually way behind. Wow, 12 drones to 20 SCVs. So either MoonGlade took more damage than I thought, or MoonGlade is just producing way too many Zerglings. One or the other, or a combination of both. Keep in mind that most of the SCVs for Loner remained alive. Oh my goodness, all the SCVs just went on auto repair, and it's gonna be another pull off here. Loner says, I really want to end the game right here, right now. That is so many Marines and SCVs. No Banelings nest yet because there's really no gas mining for the Zerg player. And wow, a Congo line of SCVs. They're gonna pick off this Spine Crawler, easy peasy, and MoonGlade could very well lose game number 5. Oh, good surround though by the Zerg player. Why isn't he taking off the Spine Crawler? No, Loner didn't pick off the Spine Crawler, and now this game has just completely reversed the tables. Oh, wow. MoonGlade right there. He saves himself the game, but I think that was more Loner's blunder than anything else. Loner did not need to lose that. I really feel like if he had taken out the Spine Crawler, that could have went the other direction. And now if we look at the income tab, it is still 20 harvesters to 13 harvesters. All right, so hey, I guess Loner's not that far behind after all. This game is just going completely wonkers. As you guys can see, MoonGlade doesn't really have that much saturation whatsoever. A lot of drones going down time and time again. Transfuse being used on that Spine Crawler. That thing has 5 kills. Those 5 kills saved MoonGlade the game. But, you know, Loner is still ahead. Surprisingly, I'm really surprised. I thought after that attack, MoonGlade would be behind. Loner would be behind. And I really think that, you know, Loner could have won the game right there if he picked off that Spine Crawler. But regardless, Loner is now going to fall back. He's going to transition into standard macro now, I believe. And he's going to start to get... What is he going to get? He's going to get... no, he's not going to... He's going to get a command center. There we go. I was wondering if he was going to get that expansion down or not. And so, yes, Loner does have a plan, a backup plan. He's going to go for the CC now. He's going to try to get his economy rolling. Once again, the game now is at the 9-minute mark nearly, but both players really look like they're only at the 4 or 5-minute mark, as all those attacks really cause hefty delays in the buildup of both players' economies and their technology. So now MoonGlade gonna try to take down the gold rocks. He's gonna try to transition into a standard macro game, and he's also, of course, getting a Baneling's Nest just to deal with the threat of potential mass marine pull off again. You really need those Banelings, but I don't think Loner is going to do it again. I think he is going to fall back into a standard macro game. I guess Foxer wasn't at the controls, because if it was Foxer controlling this game right now, I'm pretty sure that that would have been over already. But regardless, Loner going to throw down his 3rd barracks. I would expect to see the 4th barracks going up relatively soon. And we're gonna see a standard macro game from here on out. Gold hatchery going up for MoonGlade. And so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at MoonGlade's player camera view. He's dashing back and forth between the main and the natural. Looking good. And he's actually going to try to go ahead and get his overlord around the backside of the Terran base, so he can find out what's going on and make sure that nothing fishy like a starport is going up. A quick starport right now would be so brutal, because the Zerg player would not expect it whatsoever. But I don't think we're going to see a starport, because obviously the factory is just starting to go down now on the production tab, and the Terran player did go for the expansion. So if we switch over to Loner's point of view now, 1 factory on the way, lots of Marines inside the main. Loner really playing like his cousin Foxer does. He likes to go for mass Marines. And we're going to see right now, is it going to be a starport? If it's a starport, that would be sick. So sick. It is not going to be a star. Wow, another command center. That's interesting. Loner going to go for a command center, so he's going to try to expand over to this expansion as soon as he possibly can, and he's going to try to use siege tanks, a combination of siege tanks and Marines to hold it. And of course, he's getting 2 engineering bays so he can get his upgrades as well. So very, very macro oriented right now for Loner. He's completely focused on the macro game. Note siege mode is on the way, and over at the Zerg player's base we do have a Spire coming up. So MoonGlade is transitioning into the standard Baneling Muta play, which is pretty much the way to play against Terran. And we're gonna see how effective these Mutalisks are gonna be. Obviously, Loner can throw up missile turrets pretty soon. I think he should be able to get missile turrets in time. He just needs to scan the Spire, because right now, keep in mind, after all 4 games, we haven't seen any Mutalisks whatsoever. So Loner might not be, he might have forgotten that Mutalisks are a possibility in the Zerg arsenal. I mean, it's possible, you know, you can forget, especially if you get too complacent. So Loner right now not throwing up any missile turrets as of yet. The Spire is on the way. There we go, 1 missile turret at the natural, and it should be 1 at the main. So Loner, on top of every single page, he knows that Mutalisks are a possibility, and look at that, just like that, we have 7 Mutalisks coming out for MoonGlade. So MoonGlade is going to try to be aggressive with Mutas, but I don't know if this is going to work. There's just too many Marines, too many missile turrets. I think the Mutalisks are going to be completely shut down for MoonGlade, and so I don't know. I really think right now Loner might be a little bit ahead. If anything, he's about to get that 3rd expansion down. Of course, though, MoonGlade does have the gold hatchery, and he's got a lot of saturation going up right now. So I would like to see Loner get his third expansion ASAP. If he doesn't get it down, then he's going to start to fall behind. Here comes the Mutalisk for MoonGlade. Gonna go ahead and pick off two of the one of the SCVs building the buildings there, and it looks like the Mutalisks are going to be easily deflected. No damage will be dealt there. Just too many Marines. Way too many Marines that Loner's got. And it looks like we do have Burrow and Zerg flyer attacks being upgraded. Burrow is an interesting upgrade right now because there's really no roaches out on the field for MoonGlade. And the only other thing I could think of is maybe we're going to see some burrowed banelings this game. That would be really interesting to see. Mutalisk coming in here once again to try to do some damage. Going to cancel the turret. And they're going to pick off a couple of SCVs. Nice play right here from MoonGlade. He's found an opening where he can just kind of pick the refinery a little bit. And of course, forces Loner to mobilize all of his Marines and his tanks. Now, I would like to see transition into maybe a Thor or two for Loner. Because while Mass Marine and Mass Tanks are good, they can still be vulnerable. The tanks can be vulnerable to Mutalisks unless Loner is really, really good with his Marine control and he keeps his Marines around his tanks at all times. Here we go. He's going to push out. He's going to try to establish his third expansion, and Loner has to get this command center to go up. If he loses his command center, then he will most likely lose the game because the Zerg player now is established his fourth expansion. The Zerg player has a huge economy right now, and this is where Zerg is most deadly. All these upgrades are starting to kick in. There's a ton of banelings on the field. They have speed. Muta banelings so powerful. 146 supply for the Zerg army and 133 supply for the Terran. The Terran needs to transfer his SCVs over. Here we go. The SCVs are starting to make their way over to that expansion, but MoonGlade is thinking about making an attack here. He's got a lot of mutas, he's got a lot of links and banelings. He wants to try to whittle down the tank numbers right now. As many tanks as he can possibly pick off. That's going to be a huge bonus. Oh wow, a huge opening right here, and that's what I'm talking about. This is very difficult for the Terran player to make sure that he keeps his Marines next to his tanks at all times. And when he moves his Marines back to deal with these Mutalisks, he actually has to bring back all of his tanks. Otherwise, the Mutalisk can just fly back around to the other side and pick off the tanks at the front. So this is what MoonGlade is really, really known for. I think I spoke about this in the first game. MoonGlade is really good with his Mutalisks. He's especially and exceptionally powerful with mutas. Right now they have +1 weapons, and MoonGlade is just doing work right now against Loner. Loner needs a Thor. He does have a Thor on the way. Oh no, but the tanks are exposed, and every tank that gets whittled down makes these Lings and Banelings that much more threatening because they can just run in without fear of the splash damage from the tanks. Oh my goodness, MoonGlade is just doing work right now. He's got the 4th hatchery going up. He's looking very, very good. Gonna come around the backside. Only a single missile turret there. Not enough to deal with the Mutalisk. That is a huge flock. That's almost, I think that is 24 Mutalisks right there, guys. Which is just insane. MoonGlade is maxed out at 200. Loner's at 157. A much smaller army size. All these SCVs in trouble trying to surround the missile turret, but that didn't work out very well at all. And the SCVs are going down, down. I was just thinking of a song right there. But anyways, MoonGlade is doing a great job right now. And I don't know if Loner can come back from this. He's definitely not lost. He's not taken severe damage yet, but he's constantly forced to scramble his army around. And when you're a Terran player and you're in this kind of situation, how are you going to establish a 4th expansion? It becomes dang near impossible to do. Another attack flurry by the Mutalisk, gonna pick off a ton of the SCVs here. Thor's finally walking out and about, and this is what Loner has needed for so long. He's needed Thors to deal with these Mutalisks. The combination of Thors and Marines is what shuts Mutal play down, but has the damage been done? Has the Zerg player contained the Terran player to the point of no return? We can see that the Zerg player, MoonGlade, has almost 4,000 minerals. He's actually at a lack of larvae. He doesn't need more minerals. He needs more larvae right now, so he can produce more Lings in the next big engagement. I would like to see another hatchery going down, in fact, for MoonGlade right now, because he's actually only up 1 base. So another hatchery would be nice. Loner right now nearing max as well, 167 to 185. Here comes the flock of Mutalisks once again. MoonGlade asserting his dominance in the skies. And I don't know. I don't know. All these buildings are completely exposed. The Mutalisks are just going to fly in. Free pass. Going to pick off all the turrets once again. And Loner's got to scramble his Marines. I mean, honestly, if you're in a situation like this... Oh, my goodness. The command center gets blown apart. Wow. If you're in a situation like this and you're Terran... You know, just push. Just push and try to end the game. And I think Loner is thinking just like that. You know what? It's time to push forward. I am at a huge deficit right now. I can only hope to win the game in one massive push. Oh my goodness, siege your tanks! Siege your tanks! There we go. Those Lings and Banelings could have run in and done so much damage. MoonGlade is doing a great job right now. These tanks need to be sieged at the right time. If they are unsieged, when those Lings and Banelings come in, this could be huge! This is a disaster! All these Lings and Banelings are going to annihilate the Marines! And the Marines trying to scramble away, but now the Mutalisks have been open. They are now open to dealing with all the Thors and all the tanks. And that is exactly what the Zerg player needs to do. The Zerg needs to threaten the Marines, force all the Marines to run away, and then the Mutalisks can pick off all the Terran mech. Now this is what's left, just a handful of Marines, and I think MoonGlade might even have enough Mutalisks to deal with this. He's just got so many Mutas. Oh my goodness. This is going to be GG. MoonGlade is going to win the IM games. GG calls Loner, and MoonGlade wins an impressive game nonetheless. This is definitely the best game in the entire series. And I really hope you guys enjoyed that broadcast. HD going to be signing out here till next time. Stay tuned, guys.